Hello, I'm Sharon Pender, President and CEO of the Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council and the operator of the MBDA Business Center, Washington, D.C., and the Federal Procurement Center. Welcome and welcome back to our Hot Chat podcast, Minority Business Connections. And we're featuring today one of our premier MBEs. As in our segment now, we're talking about um, the untold stories of minority businesses during this pandemic. Just awesome. So, welcome again. We're going to feature today Mercedita Rojas, Murray, founder and CEO of Montage Marketing Group, LLC, a marketing services agency. This will be a great discussion about how she got started, how she's managed through this pandemic. This is, again, a continuation of our special series showcasing MBEs and their untold stories. It is always our mission to continue to feature dynamic one on one conversations with our minority businesses, our CEOs, supply diversity professionals, and procurement leaders from some of the region's leading companies via our Hot Chat podcast discussions. We will spotlight successes, challenges, resources, and opportunities that exist in our vast network of our MBEs and corporate partners who share their vision to help drive equity and economic development across this country. More important, stay with us and feel free to share your thoughts on topics that may be of interest to you. Go to our www.crmsdccares.com and all of our social media handles or media channels. Now, before we get started with the conversation, we always have to thank the people who keep the lights on for us, but more importantly, those folks who are part of the mission and part of the vision, and those are our sponsors. So, title sponsors Exelon, BGE, and Pepco, Exelon Companies, Southwest Airlines, the Hilton, AMCUS, one of our premier MBEs, Capital One, CompuGain, JDC Events, SB and Company, and Shroud Priest. Let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. I'm so excited. Mercedita Roxas-Murray is the founder and CEO, as I shared, of Montage Marketing Group, LLC, a marketing services agency with over 20 years in the marketing industry. Mercedita is a recognized leader and in the integrated marketing space. Montage Marketing Group is a marketing outreach, engagement, events, and communications agency that empowers clients to achieve goals and engage audiences. Montage specializes in work that leaves a positive impact on the community and the audiences it engages with on behalf of their clients. And they have created a strategic marketing communication solutions and implemented programs that deliver results, positive outcomes, and communication solutions. Some of their clients include National Institution of Health, Department of Homeland Security, Montgomery County Volunteer Center, Department of Environmental Protections, and a National Park Service. Now, pay close attention because Mercedita is a leader in the industry, but she's also, I would like to say, an award winner. She's been recognized as the 2021 Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council Supplier of the Year Class 2, the U.S. Department of Commerce MBDA Minority Marketing Communications Agency of the Year for 2020, the Growth Lab Top 100 Federal Market Communications Leader in 2020, awarded the State of Maryland Governor Citation last year as well, recognized as the NMSDC Top 100 MBE 2019, and in 2018 was the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year in the Maryland from the Maryland Business Center. And she's on the board of Montgomery County Small Business Association and the National Minority Supply Development Council, MBE, in particular, the Capital Region MBE Input Committee, as well as being a member of WeBank. So let's meet the lovely Mercedita Roxas-Murray. Hello, Mercedita. How are
Hey,
you?
Sharon, how are you? I'm well, thank you.
Good. Thank you for having this conversation with us today because you know what? People always love a good story. They always love that success. And we just want to delve into who you are and what you've done and how you got there, because you are an inspiration to a lot, and people aspire to be where you are. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I've got to ask you a burning question. Mercedita is a beautiful name. How did you get it?
Mercedita is the diminutive of my grandmother. Her name was Mercedes, and ITA means Little Mercedes. So I was named for my grandmother.
See, I knew it was a story there. Fantastic. How long have you been in business?
So we have been in business coming up on 7 years. I founded the agency in January of 2015 with my partner, Teresa Pipia. I was a partner at a firm in Old Town Alexandria for a number of years, and decided that I wanted to break out on my own and focus in on doing work that leaves a positive impact on community and stakeholder. And so we went off in that direction.
Okay, so did you all meet at the same agency and then decided to do your own thing?
We actually did work together. She left to go work for a non-for-profit, and I stayed. And then when I decided to leave, I let her know that I was thinking about starting my own agency. And she said, I'd love to get in on the ground floor and work with you, and let's build something together. So, as two females in a, fairly male-dominated industry, we felt like it was a great opportunity for us to do marketing a little bit differently. And so we founded Montage, and off we ran.
Why the name Montage?
So I don't know if you, think about people are very multidimensional, and they have, different interests, different ways of making decisions, different ways of thinking about things. And so we took this concept of people don't make a decision based on one thing. So when you think about marketing, it's not that they saw an ad and they're going to do something right away. Very often you have to touch them, 7, 8 times before they take that action. And what we like to do is engage with people in all of the different ways that they like to engage, with all of the different tools that they use. And we take what we call little bits and pieces to form a holistic picture. And that's what a montage is. It's a collection of smaller pieces that make a whole.
Can you tell people how? Because a lot of people want to start businesses, and some people do it correctly and some don't. Some people go through a process by which they do that. Some people start it while they're still working. Because it takes courage to kind of step, what I always say, into the abyss, and to say that I'm going to start my own. And then in your case, I mean, that is a real high risk proposition. I'm going to start my own agency. And
Yes.
so how did you go about that? Did you hung up that shingle and it's day one? How did you go about doing all of that?
Starting your own business is very much like standing on the end of a diving board, 15-foot diving board, and looking down, right? You're deciding, right. Do I do this? Do I not do this? What are the consequences going to be? So what I did was, to be honest with you, I had thought about it. So I squirreled away all of my nuts that I thought was the bare minimum that I needed to start my business. And then I really had a plan for, we need to build infrastructure in order for us to make this happen. Mm-hmm. Teresa and I actually went through what's called a partnership charter, and it was maybe 5 to 6 months of negotiations. If this happened, how would you handle it? How would I handle it? Smart. Are we going to be in sync with each other? Where are the areas that you're going to play? Where are the areas that I'm going to play? So that we had our very specific lanes. We also identified that we wanted to, have certifications that were going to help us compete. So we looked at women-owned certifications, we looked at minority-owned certifications, we looked at state certifications, we looked at local certifications, and we put into place kind of a mechanism in order to do that. We registered in supplier diversity portals. We made a very aggressive pipeline and said, if we want to have a 60-40% business portfolio of government and commercial, we've got to build our pipeline and really identify who we need to approach and engage in order to win that business. So we had to be okay with making very little in our first year. so that we could spend the time on really building that infrastructure. We also did hire a legal team, and we hired an accountant, and we made sure that we had somebody that was going to help us with a lot of those things that, really from an administrative standpoint, is not why you get into business.
Right.
Like, I'm a marketer. I don't love doing my taxes. No offense to everybody who does that as their job. More power to you, because that's not where my strengths are.
Mm-hmm. Outstanding. And so where do you see, so it's been 7 years, lucky seven, like roll the dice, right? So where do you see yourself in 7 more years?
Well, Sharon, I said to Teresa, to kind of entice her to get on board, I said, look, we're going to be 50 in 5, right? We're going to be 50 million in 5 years. Now we're not there, but you had to have a big goal.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, it's not only achieving that goal, but it's identifying, pieces of the business that we believe would be more fulfilling. So helping employees and people who don't have the same kind of opportunities that we have to achieve. So whether it's that they want to start their own business, we want to give them the tools and the know-how to be able to do that from within our own employee base. We'd like to make sure that we continue to do work that continues to leave a positive impact. We do a lot of work with health education awareness for underserved and underrepresented populations. We do a lot of work with Montgomery County and trying to amplify volunteerism and making it more than just one day, but making it a year-long effort. So there's a lot of initiatives that we do that are near and dear to our hearts that we want to see continue to grow as well.
Okay. You mentioned that you have multiple offices. Where's your headquarters and where are your offices?
So we have our headquarters in Bethesda, Maryland. We have an office in McLean, and then we're registered in Indiana, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, New York, and I'm sure I'm missing one other.
That's okay. So there was a strategy to be more national in reach.
So a lot of our work is national in nature. So we do support federal government and state government, but a lot of the projects that we do reaches national. And so in many cases, it made more sense to have people who have local knowledge or regional expertise and have a team out there. So we hired people in those different locations to set up shop. A lot of our programs, for example, also are mobile. We have a fleet of mobile vehicles, so that, like, if you go to a fair event festival and those vehicles where you go on board and you have an experience, we had a lot of vehicles like that tour the country. And so because of that, we like to, again, hire local so that people are engaging with people that are relevant to them and are of their community. So we hire, thousands of people part-time across the country. So it was a matter of thinking through, where do we need to be in order to execute the business that we want to do?
Okay. How do you, 7 years, right? How do you navigate 2020? I mean, nobody saw it coming. You're going down a path, and how do you navigate the pandemic hitting, and then how do you leverage it?
Yeah, I remember it was March, and we said to our folks, all right, guys, pack up your desks. It's time to go. We'll be shut down for 2 weeks. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Come on back, And then it ended up being a year and a half, just like everybody else, or more. So the way that we navigated it was all of our in-person live engagement work, we had to come off the road. So the vehicles that were out on the road, the tour managers and tour folks that were out on the road, we had to bring everybody home. We had to put all of our vehicles into storage. And then we had to cross-train those folks to have other skill sets, because we made it our mission. We were not going to lose our people. We knew that at some point this was going to end, and we wanted to make sure that all of our people had their jobs and could continue. So we had to cross-train and help those folks to do other jobs. We set up to make sure that everybody could operate virtually and make sure that they had the tools that they needed so that they could live in a remote environment and still be able to do their work. I think it's very hard to, take a live engagement agency, and then all of a sudden everything is
Mhm.
virtual. So we had to amplify that aspect of our work. We amped up our virtual conference capabilities. A lot of our work is digital products, right? So we do augmented reality and virtual reality experiences. We've created interactive engagement webinars and things of that nature so that we could continue engaging with our communities, even though we couldn't be in person with them.
So how did you help your clients through this period?
So I think for our clients, we had to really help them assess the people that they want to interact with. What are the tools that they can engage with them if it's not in person? So if it's identifying social media channels or digital tools or even print products. If it was going to be through advertising or influencers, we had to really find those ways that we could communicate and engage their audience in ways that were meaningful and relevant for them. And so it was rebuilding strategies for some of our clients and reconfiguring what our initial plan was, and then just making sure that we were able to continue on despite, some people's challenges. They might have digital access issues, they might have digital literacy issues, they might have language barriers, whatever it may be. We just made sure that we had the tools that were going to help our clients get over those barriers.
I noticed a lot of your awards were won in 2020. And so was that a strategy as well of making sure that you're ahead of ahead of the line?
I think that we were blessed in that we are an integrated agency, so we
Mhm.
don't do just one thing. And we have extremely creative folks who come up with a lot of innovative, creative products. And so, when you're looking at what's going to effectively help people create an action or an intended behavior, you got to find those things that they're going to emotionally connect to. And so,
Mhm.
we came up with the augmented reality experiences that, people responded to. We came up with virtual reality experiences that people responded to. It was just making sure that the different tools that we've always had kind of in our wheelhouse, were just at the ready and amplified and ready to roll. And so we were blessed. Our 2019 was extremely successful, which I think got
Okay.
recognized in 2020.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Again, I'm trying to figure out what's down the line for you.
So what is down the line for us? I don't think we will ever go away from some iteration of COVID or something else, right?
Okay.
So down the line for us is how do we maintain a hybrid environment for our clients, our employees, and the people that they engage. So how do we make sure that we are aware and on the cusp of emerging technologies? How do we make sure that we can engage with people who we can't get to? We're big believers in engaging people with where they are. So it's always maintaining kind of a degree of audience intelligence and market intelligence. And so down the line from us, we're amping up our data analytics teams. We're amping up our technology teams and our production teams because we believe that it's important the what and the how to be constantly involving and not necessarily the why.
Outstanding. As we look at what's happening now, right? So I don't, we do SWOT analysis all the time, right? And we take advantage of opportunities. Do you see any of those things impacting you? Like when you look at the news, once you get past being depressed, you look at, Afghanistan, you look at, the infrastructure bill, you look at all those things that are kind of happening in the marketplace. As you and your partner sit down and look at the future, do you look at what those things are that may threaten your business or what the challenges in the world as opportunities?
Yeah, I think that the whole world has woken up to the fact that diversity, equity, inclusion, and access are critically important, and that has always been a staple of our business. And we've been blessed to be able to do a lot of that work with our work with DHS. We stood up their Inclusive Diversity Council. We support all of their special observances. We do a lot of work with underserved and underrepresented populations. And so, I think that people are starting to really understand that it's not lip service anymore. You have to truly do it in authentic and honest ways. And so we have teams of people, we have engagement counselors that work with specific communities and populations, with the African American Black communities, the Hispanic Latino communities, the ANHPI communities, the disability community, LGBTQIA community. And, I think that as we continue on, helping our clients and helping future clients understand that they can't just be checking the box, that they really do have to do that exceedingly well, taking into consideration not only race and ethnicity, but all of those other factors that impact people, whether that's socioeconomic or literacy or cultural sensitivity. All of those things have to be factored in order to put together really great outreach, communication, and engagement protocols. And so, I think that it's unfortunate what has happened in the last several years, but I do think that hopefully it will open the door to people really being honest about the things that need to change.
Yeah. I look at, the Delta variant, right? For us, I was looking at strategies of rolling people back in the office, and then the variant happened, right? And now we're getting cases, and now this whole thing of, who's vaccinated, who's not, kind of thing. How has that, if you taken that into consideration in terms of your equation of what you're dealing with now? Like, we
So
would have post-COVID, but we're still in COVID, right?
Right. So it's interesting you said that, because 2 weeks ago we had our mid-annual meeting and we announced to the company, hey, we're looking at bringing everybody back hybrids as of September 7th.
Oh my goodness.
Which is, 2 weeks away, right?
Right.
And as the news continues and as this Delta variant has continued to escalate, we have to stop ourselves. As much as we want to have people back in our office, as much as collaboration is better in a creative space, it's something that you really have to stop and think about. And so, with the Delta variant, really do have to take it slow. We need to make sure that people are safe. We need to make sure that people are healthy and cared for, and that they're not put into an environment in which they're uncomfortable, because that's going to affect their mental health and their productivity and their capability overall. So that is something that, as much as we don't like it, we do have to step back and take a look at. And we're actually scheduled a meeting for Friday to rethink what it is that we want to do there.
That's no joke.
Yeah.
But kind of one of the things that I admire most about you, not only in your success of starting and growing your company in 7 short years, but your ability to also, there's that thing that says never let them see you sweat. But your ability to juggle everything and still be a leader in terms of what you give back. So thank you what you do for the Minority Business Input Committee, your leadership there. So we know that you're Superwoman, but tell our listeners how you juggle all of that and why that's an important part of what you do.
So, one of the things that my father taught me, when he came to this country, he had nothing, right? He had a suitcase.
And where did he come from?
He came from the Philippines.
Okay.
And, he always believed in helping others, even when he didn't have anything. I think when he came to this country, he was given the opportunity to sleep in the maternity ward of the hospital that he was an intern at, because he didn't have an apartment. He didn't have any place to stay. But he always taught us about making sure that we supported others who did not have the opportunities that we had. And so he worked for, the movement for Free Philippines. And I remember being, in the basement, cranking the mimeograph machine, making the news.
You're not that old.
I am. The newsletters and the newspapers and inking the rollers and all of that, and sitting in church basements, listening to him talk about his advocacy for that. And so I grew up with advocacy kind of in the forefront of our family. And so, I was blessed. My family has always supported all of us kids. We were able to have an education and we were able to find work. And so when I think about, the blessings we've had as a business, I think it's important that we open up the doors to opportunity for those who don't have those same opportunities. And so, I sit on the Montgomery County Small Business Association because we really believe in creating equal access to business opportunities within the county. I sit on the CRMSDC Minority Business Enterprise Input Committee because we believe in the voices of other minority businesses should be heard, and we should advocate for the needs to help small business be successful. At the cornerstone of this economy, small businesses are the ones that hire the employees, are the ones that run this economic machine, and it's important that they don't fail. And so anything that we can do to help that, we will do. And it's something that is near and dear to my heart, but it's also near and dear to the heart of the people of our company.
Outstanding. You're such a gem. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank
Any
you.
parting words of advice that you'd like to share, Mercedita?
I would just say that it is scary and lonely at the end of that diving board, right? And you really do have to take the plunge, because if you don't take the plunge, you'll never know what greatness you can achieve. And so, business is hills and valleys, and you just have to know that if you're in the valley, you're going to come out of it, and to not lose heart, because there are so many great resources like CRMSDC that are there to help you, backstop you, provide you that support mechanism to get you back up. And so, as hard as it may seem, it just takes a little elbow grease and a little stick to it.
Absolutely. I love that in terms of taking that plunge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just one last question, curiosity question. How many siblings do you have, and where do you fall in the birth order?
So I am the second. I have a perfect older sister. She was always she was homecoming and she went to MIT and, she's a brilliant whatever. Then I have a little, the third child is a brother. So he's the only doctor in the family, the only boy in the family. And then I have a little sister who is a lawyer. So, I was that traditional middle child. I was
what? I felt we connected on a level. I thought we did. I just felt it. That's why you got great leadership and success. Right? Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your nuggets. Thank you for continuing to inspire all of us. And we wish you much, much, much success, Mercedita. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate it.
Okay. Very good. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. We're just grateful for those insights and nuggets that she kind of shared with us. You know what? We need to ask Mercedita how we can connect with her. Can we do that? They're gonna.
Yeah,
executive producer is gonna kick me off. We need to know how we can connect with you in the future, because that's what people are going to be asking us.
Well, you can certainly go to montagemarketinggroup.com. You can email me at info@montagemarketinggroup.com, or you can connect with me through the CRMSDC MBEIC.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're needing of marketing support, not just marketing support, but one that is innovative and next level, you certainly should reach out to Mercedita and the folks at Montage Marketing. So thank you again, Mercedita. I'm sorry I missed that in the beginning. I mean, before you left off. But ladies and gentlemen, you can visit us. Oh, that was a email, was info@montagemarketinggroup.com. Again, that's info@montagemarketinggroup.com. All right, thank you. Additionally, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to connect with us, you can visit our website at www.crmsdc.org. And we have future podcasts that feature Senator Ben Cardin. We're going to continue to highlight some of our phenomenal MBEs. We're going to, up next will be April Richardson, Esquire, President and CEO of DC Sweet Potato Cakes. And please join us. There's an opportunity to be outside. We're going to be socially distanced and we're going to be safe. Our annual business and golf outing will be held September 21st at the Woodmore Country Club in Prince George's County, Mitchellville. Um, get your tickets. It is something that you don't want to miss. If you're playing golf, we can perhaps pair you up with one of our corporate members, but certainly you can talk to them as we have our luncheon at the end. So take advantage of the opportunity. I'd like to, before we go, look and thank our sponsors. Oh, and we did our title sponsors at the beginning, but we look at these, ladies and gentlemen, and listen: AARP, AT&T, BAE Systems, Bank of America, BWI, Thurgood Marshall International Airport, Dominion Energy, Ellison Group, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Financial and Realty Services, LLC, Horseshoe Casino, part of Caesars Entertainment, Ideal Electric, Leidos, Lockheed Martin, M&T Bank, the Marriott, McCormick, Metropolitan Washington Airport Authority, Northrop Grumman, Peapod, Sodexo, Truist, United States Postal Service, Washington Gas, the Metro, WSSC Water, Wells Fargo, Zillion Technologies. So thank you very, very much. We have some other tidbits I'd like to talk to you about as well. We talked about golf, but we have a research project going up and we need your help. I'm asking you to register and participate in our COVID-19 research study. We're looking for 100 MBEs to help us learn about the impact that the pandemic has had on their business and do it for the greater good. Do it for yourselves. Share the experience, shape the future. Register now by going to crmsdccares.com, crmsdccares.com to register. Let me see if that is everything else. I'd like to, at this particular point in time, thank our CARES Act team and Grable Media for all their hard work behind the scenes. Our executive producer Sonia Bigelow Smith, and her team of Toya Moore, Jacob Brown, Nicole Miles, our graphic extraordinaire, and the Graybow Media team. We certainly thank all of you for your hard work again. And lastly, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, at CRMSDC. Follow us at CRMSDC. Thank you, and see you next time on HotChat as we continue to tell some untold stories of minority businesses in this COVID environment, or we'll help you follow the money. Bye-bye.